Hey everybody, welcome back to the Intentional Carnivore. Today I want to do something a little bit different. I'm still kind of under the weather and getting over this cold and sinus issue that I've had going on. But I wanted to get a video out because I've been kind of thinking about something that's been on my heart to be able to share. In relation to the intentional carnivore, I've had a lot of people ask me why intentional, how did the name come to be? And I just believe that everything we do needs to be done with intentionality. I believe that there should be a purpose for the things that we do in life. We don't just exist, we thrive. And that's part of the mental transformation that this way of life brings about and helps you to understand. If we just go along with whatever happens, that's kind of how we ended up in the condition that we were in before. So when we look at the changes that need to be made and start trying to make those changes in our lives, we come to this understanding of being intentional about the things that we do, about the choices that we make, about the people that we have around us, about the things that we ponder and think about from time to time. We can't get to a goal unless we understand exactly where that goal is. As a leader or a voice in this space, that's one of the things that's on my heart, is understanding that leaders don't just point and tell. They lead, they guide, and they show. They're intentional about what they're doing. So I just want to share with you guys kind of something that I wrote as kind of an ethos or a mission statement or whatever, if you will. And it's the intentional carnivore. As a transformed, competent-minded man of intentionality, I will embrace the challenges that come with my work, prioritizing the discipline and mental transformation of myself over my feelings. I understand that in order to serve others to the best of my ability and be faithful to my convictions, I must maintain my physical, emotional, and mental well-being with honor and integrity and discipline, both in my professional and my personal life. I strive for consistent growth and mental transformation, recognizing that this sets me apart from others and the general consensus today. Through a transformed mindset and a commitment to healthy habits, I am able to control my emotions and actions, enabling me to have an unwavering integrity and enduring dedication. I recognize that commitment to a lifelong learning, unrestricted growth, and being intentional about my convictions and decisions is crucial to achieving my goals and helping others to the best of my abilities. And so that's kind of just what I want us to adopt in this community. Not just for me, but for you. Grab a hold of the concept of intentionality. Being intentional about our decisions and making those changes. It's not always easy. It's not always easy doing the things that we're convicted to do. But when we lay our heads down at night on our pillow, we will get plenty of good rest knowing that we did the right thing. You see, I've been taught by some of the greatest over my life and had principles instilled in me, I guess you would say, by some really great people. And one of the quotes from it is this: people are dying for leadership, someone to believe in them. Most have no one to build them up and equip them to succeed. And that's a lot of the goal that I have here at Intentional Carnivore, is not just me getting it, not just me having success and seeing the benefits of the life change that comes about during this process, but finding ways to convey that message clearly and concisely to you and seeing you guys get it. Some of you already are on that path. Some of you have been on that path, some even longer than I have been. And that's a very, very important thing to share with other people. I'm so glad to have you guys here. And I'm enjoying and appreciate more than you guys will ever know the community that we're building here. We have to understand that the process to get to the goal, not just the process of getting to that goal, but as a leader, you need to understand the potential threats that are lying in wait on the way to get there. You see, so many of us have set out on this journey. We've been convinced of the things and the ways that it works. And what we're learning is that we can't just keep it to ourselves. We have to share it with other people. And during this time, while we're trying to figure out how to get to the goal ourselves and yet turn around and put out a helping hand to bring those who are behind us, we as leaders have to be conscientious about the potential threats. And some of those could be anything from people giving ideas that aren't exactly accurate, or giving good ideas that aren't the great ideas, as I've heard say many times. You don't sacrifice the great for the good. Zig Ziglar was one of the best. He's like, if there's hope for the future, there's power in the present. And there's a lot of good things that you can learn from other people, but just be careful about who you're letting speak into your life, and who you're getting that advice from, because it doesn't take being off course, but just a little bit, and it can throw the goal out of sight. I'm reminded of years ago, I used to work as a tile installer, and what we learned real quick was that we start off on a job, we would take our tape measures and we would take lasers and we would lay the lines out and we would do everything. We would spend a lot of time setting up the process that we would take to get to the job done. Not just get the job done, but have it done immaculately. Have it done on such a level that nobody could find very many faults in the work that we've done, because we knew that if we had messed up or anything like that, that the owner of our company would be around and we would pull it back up and we would redo it. And so we tried to do it right the first time. And it doesn't mean we didn't have to redo some things. Oftentimes we did. That doesn't mean that everything was exactly perfect. I'm sure that we could go back even today and find some flaws somewhere in that work. But we started off right. We started off and had guidelines that would show us how we needed to lay that tile. And the reason being is because if you're doing an area big enough, you know that you start laying that tile, ceramic or marble or granite tile on the floor, and you start staying with your lines, and where you might be off of your guidelines by an eighth of an inch, or even a 16th for that matter. A 16th of an inch really isn't that big of a deal. But if you're off a 16th inch in, by the time you run, an extremely large room, by the time you get to the end of it, you could be off up to 2 or 3 feet if you're not careful. You have to keep using those guides and those guidelines that you laid in place to get you to the point where you want to be and in the condition and presentation that you want. And it's no different with the goals that we have set for our health and in our transformation in this journey with Carnivore and our healthy lifestyle. We have to have guides. We have to have a plan in place. And that's what I always encourage people to do whenever they get started in this, with this transformation, is sit down, take a pencil and a piece of paper and write down your whys, figure out what it is that you want to change. And then we develop a plan to get there. Have a goal in mind. If you don't have a goal or a plan, if you keep moving the goal or moving the plan, or you lose sight of it, you'll never know when you get there. And I think that's just critical for us to keep a hold of. We have to have a vision. We have to have a goal in mind. I heard another quote that kind of illustrates that. It says the average leader's life consists of 20 years of their parents asking where they're going, 7 years of a professor asking where they're going, 40 years of an organization asking where they're going, and at their funeral, the mourners will ask the same thing. Do you have a plan for where you're going? Do you have it set in stone and etched into your being, the plan of life? That's one of the most critical decisions that we can make. Only when we think differently can we begin to behave differently. And I think that's critical for us to get a hold of today. So I just wanted to share that with you, get you a little bit of content out today. If you're enjoying the content, please share it with your friends, like and subscribe. I would appreciate that, and I'm so encouraged by all of you being here and just be on the lookout for more content. As soon as I get to feeling better, hopefully we'll have some more videos out and some more content to share, and I appreciate you all very much. Keep pushing forward.